Hey tribe, welcome back. Welcome back to another Sunday coffee talk. It's Sunday morning in Thailand. Got my coffee here. And before we get going with this topic, we are going to talk about something really wonderful. I always say that everything's wonderful, but today is going to be a really sweet topic. But before we get to that, I do have some announcements, some questions I'd like to ask you where you can comment below. Um, the first thing really fast is we remember we always have this super thanks spotlight. That's where you leave a super thanks and a question attached to it, and that's what we discuss on every Sunday. That's the topic of the day. Okay, so we always have that going on. So remember the super thing spotlight. The other thing I had a question on is that kind of like, especially for my YouTube channel and the public side, not the tribe side, not the membership side, but the on the public side is kind of the direction of my videos. Okay, I don't know why yesterday I was kind of looking, kind of scrolling down, not all my videos because I have a lot of videos. Uh, and most of it wasn't really the video itself. Most of it was the titles I'm using for my videos. But I kind of felt like the titles were more, it was kind of more like the problem, not really the solution. And which I don't really think my videos focus really on the problem. Um, yes, it might kind of start off that way a little bit, where maybe the video is about one specific habit that we have, but there's always a solution to it. Um, but I kind of looked at like a lot of my videos. I'm doing a lot of videos like that, and it definitely stood out to me, like in my titles. So either I'm not really communicating very good what the video is about in my title, which, that's on me. But anyway, the question is, I mean, how would you like to see the videos move in a certain direction? And what I mean by that is one idea I had was actually making a how-to playlist, but it's going to be on manifesting a success. But what I mean by that is we can start off basic, meaning like, how to manifest my dream house, how to manifest my dream car, how to manifest my SP, how to manifest my dream career, how to manifest being an entrepreneur, how to manifest money, like stuff like that. It's kind of going directly into how to do something. Uh, that's an idea I kind of had to kind of spin it in a different, not in a different direction. So we're still going to talk about the same stuff, but it's just that, give it a different angle a little bit. Um, so that's kind of an idea I had. So let me know down below in the comments kind of what you think and what your ideas are. Um, what I want to talk about today is 10 minutes into the Sunday coffee talk. Is one of those red things. Oh, they're sandals. I thought it was red underwear. I was like, so, I was seeing it in a corner there. I was like, uh, what? Like, who would throw red underwear right there? But they're sandals. Okay, but today I want to talk about briefly here. Do you remember who you are? Okay. I think this is the core key. I mean, we talk a lot about identity. Okay. And really, identity is it's going to the root. Okay. But to some people, the reason why people don't get really results that they want is because they don't want to go to the root. They don't want to figure out what's wrong. They don't want to figure out what how to really fix it. They get caught up into immediate gratification, and they stay in this loop of immediate gratification, and they just keep on jumping from one thing to another. But what ends up happening is they never get out of this loop. Okay. And I don't want to talk about identity today. Okay. It's really, this is how basic this stuff is the question I'm asking you. Do you remember who you are? Okay, if you believe you're a spiritual being, I'm not talking about religion, I'm not talking about anything, is do you believe you're a spiritual being? Okay. Bottom line, if you believe you're a spiritual being, do you remember who you are? Do you remember how powerful you are? See, the whole concept here is you don't remember, you forgot. You forgot how powerful you are. This is how simple manifesting is. This is how simple things are. Is just you remembering who you are. You remembering how powerful you are because you have forgotten, my friend. Okay, let's take this a step further. If you believe that you're a spiritual being, you believe that source is inside you. Okay, what does that mean? If source is inside you, that means you have source power. It means that you how do I want to say this? You are endowed with source power because source dwells in you. Source lives in you. So listen, source cannot live in you and at the same time you don't have source power. That makes no sense. Why would source be inside you and you can't tap into that power? You understand. I mean, some people debate this or they comment below on some of my videos, especially my esoteric videos. Okay. Does that make sense? Like, okay, if we take it a step further, and no matter what you believe, this isn't a belief thing, okay? This isn't a religion talk. But if you believe that source power is God, no matter if you believe it's God, universal laws, Mother Nature, if you're Buddhist, Muslim, whatever, but if you believe source power is God, and even if we look at the Bible, Old Testament and New Testament, definitely in the New Testament, I mean, Jesus stated so many times that God is inside you. He stated so many times that Jesus and the Father are one, and you can only get to the Father through Jesus. Okay, meaning he's told his disciples many times, saying that I am always with you. He didn't say sometimes. He didn't say I'm only with you 10% of the time. Okay, I'm only with you 1% of the time. The other time I'm up with the clouds hanging with the Care Bears. Okay. I don't know if some of you know what the Care Bears are. It's a cartoon that when I was like 10 years old or something like that, that 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 was out popular, that they lived up in the clouds. Okay. That's why I always refer to God living up in the clouds with the Care Bears looking down at you. Okay. That's just I'll be honest with you, that's just kind of the bullshit we've been taught in Sunday school and churches and stuff like that, that God is separate from you. God isn't separate from you. Source isn't separate from you. Okay. If we take it a step farther, is what's the Holy Spirit? The Holy Spirit is inside you. Make sense? We have all these scriptures saying that source is inside you, God is inside you, but yet people don't want to believe or people want to debate that if source is inside me, well, Chad, you don't, you're talking blasphemy. You don't have source power. You're talking like that you want to be God. Okay. I'm not saying I want to be God. I'm saying that the powers that I have come from God because God lives inside me. That God lives inside me, His source is inside me. That means I'm endowed with source power. And even Jesus said this in the New Testament, is that all the miracles that you see me do, every single miracle, every single healing people, even raising people from the dead, He told the disciples, you can do the same. And He took it a step further and said, you can do even more. But still people don't want to believe it. And I'm just talking, I'm literally just talking from a manifesting standpoint, a success standpoint. I'm literally just talking from an abundance standpoint. That you believe in the abundance is infinite. Abundance is yours. Abundance is everywhere. Abundance is in every situation you go through. There's always abundance. Even in the New Testament, Jesus said, you can you can call the unseen to the seen. You can speak to those mountains. And this is a metaphor, but you can speak to those mountains, move from here to there, and those mountains have to move. Okay. Now, this is a metaphor. This is more of an esoteric view because the metaphor is the mountains resemble like a block in your life. Okay. You can tell it to move from here to there and it has to listen to you. These mountains also can resemble, wait for this car to pass. These mountains also can resemble what you want, your dream house. You know what I mean? Your dream career, your dream job. You want to be an entrepreneur, you want to be wealthy, your dream car. Okay, you want to give to charities, whatever it is what you want to do, that could be your mountain. And guess what? What you say, it has to listen to you. If you say, come to me, come, it has to listen to you. It has to come. It has to come into your life. Okay, that's the power we have. And I'm going to flip the question back. Do you remember who you are? Do you remember how powerful you really are? And yesterday I was just, I love Thomas Troward. I don't do a lot of videos on Thomas Troward. I want to kind of go down that rabbit hole a little bit too with Thomas Troward. The thing with Thomas Troward, I mean, even like with Neville and stuff, with these old school prosperity teachers, usually they've taught because they're talking from old English. They're writing. It's kind of old English. They kind of write. If you were educated, they kind of write very sophisticated. You get me on that? So you read their stuff, you just kind of like, oh, what? You have to like reread the paragraph again, or you just read one paragraph and you have to chew on that one paragraph, like what they wrote, because there's just so much depth to it. But one of the quotes I love about Thomas Roward is that our mind is the center of divine operation. Divine operation means expansion into more. And I read his he wrote a an article on, I want to say an article, but like a manuscript, not really a book, but a manuscript on the law of opulence. I don't know how you pronounce it, opulence. Some people call it opulence, opulence. It doesn't really matter. I mean, the grammar police are out there will correct me. I'm sure. uh, and that's what I mean is like when you say that the law of opulence, you kind of like, what does that mean? Then you have to go and look up the word opulence and stuff like that. And that's what I mean. Like it's just you know, use the old school. They use such big words. They kind of like over talked people. Not over talked people, but they just use very big vocabulary, very weird ways to explain things. But I've read it many times. And for whatever reason, I kind of dug into it yesterday. I was in the mood. And and you know, opulence kind of goes into what we're talking about today. What's opulence mean? The law of opulence. Opulence is just a fancy word for, it means divine abundance. That's what it means. It means abundance, but it means divine abundance, meaning that abundance is everywhere. Abundance is in everything. Abundance is in all things. Okay, you just have to believe it. Okay, it comes back to the same theory. I don't want to say theory, but the same thing is like abundance is my birthright. Bottom line is if source is inside me and source is divine abundance, well, that means abundance is in all situations. No matter what I'm going through, there's abundance to take away from it. Does that make sense? So I flip the question back to you again, because I really want to make you think here a little bit. Do you remember who you are? I'm not talking about your religious views. Okay. Do you remember how powerful you are? Okay, because let's kind of like wrap this up, but this is really the basics, the strong basics of manifesting a success. You getting what you want, you remembering who you are, you remembering how powerful you are, you remembering that abundance is infinite, abundance is everywhere. Okay, you can't escape it. That's what divine abundance means. Divine really means the abundance comes from that source. Okay, comes from a higher power. Okay, so if you say divine abundance, if divine abundance is attached to source, and source is inside you, source lives in you, you're endowed with source power. Well, that means that you're endowed with. That's why I say abundance is your birthright. Makes sense? But at the same time, it's you believing it. Okay, this is the root. This is where you kind of get the deny, choose, be. There's a whole nother concept to it. Okay, as you go through your day, the old you is always going to creep in. You know, no matter if it's negative thinking, no matter if it's scarcity, no matter if it's the little voice saying you can't do this, you can't have your dream house, you can't do that, blah, 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 blah. You know what I mean? It's literally what deny, choose, be means is you deny that. You deny it because that's not coming from source. Okay, source is going to want you always think in abundance of you want to be that most successful version of you. That most successful version of you is connected to source. You have to understand this. That most successful version of you is connected to source than this old version. This old version is keeping you trapped. Okay. So that's what deny, choose, be means. Like when you have these small voices or whatever, or feelings or emotions, maybe someone tells you, makes fun of you from wanting your dream house. Okay, that happens as well. You deny it. You deny it right there. I don't accept that. Then you choose what you want. You in your mind, you align your mind right back into what do I want? What's going on? When you deny it, nope, I don't want this. You choose, I want my dream house. And you be it, meaning that you're that person right now. You behave, you act like everything as a most successful version of you, you already have what you want. That's what deny, choose, be means. Okay. But that's what you're doing all day long. You're constantly denying, choosing, and being. Okay. When you start going back to the old you're constantly denying, choose, being. Okay. All through the day. That's what you're doing. And you're kind of get better and better and better with it. When you first start off, it seems like, holy crap, I'm deny, choose, being like 200 times a day. Then sometimes, and then it moves down to 100, then it moves down to 50. You know what I mean? You're always going to do it. You're always going to catch yourself. But what I'm saying is, lots of times at the beginning, it's crazy frustrating because it just seems like your 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 beliefs are contradicting what you want. Your thinking's contradicting what you want. Your thoughts are contradicting what you want. You're hanging around with the wrong group of friends, and they're contradicting with what you want. Okay, maybe your parents and your family is contradicting what you want. When you go in your environment is contradicting what you want. You go to work, your job is contradicting what you want. And that's the power of deny, choose, be. Okay, when your environment is contradicting what you want, yes, you can move to a new environment. Okay, but in the beginning, before that happens, is you deny it. Okay. You don't let what you see in your 3D world, your environment, because my environment, I can look around me and I can see. You don't bring emotion to it. You literally deny it, and you think, what do I want? Meaning you deny, choose, be. What do I want? What do I choose? Okay, this is the environment I want. You go inside your imagination. You see yourself in the environment that you want. Just like if I'm sitting here having my coffee, talking to you, I can put my mind in a state that, oh, I'm in my dream house. I'm in my backyard. Like I'm looking over here at my pool. I can put myself in that state. Okay. I'm choosing what direction I want to go. And the next step is I be it. I become it. I be that person right now. See, that's the secret. You're that person right now. Okay. If you don't like things coming into your life, you have to access, more than likely you're that old self. Who are you in that moment? And you're probably 100%. You're probably not that most successful version of you. Okay, you understand? You, I mean, again, this is how simple this stuff is, but that's why we go deeper in some videos, because we got to pick apart. We got to pick apart Everybody has different gunk in their life. Everybody has different junk in their life. You know what I mean? They have to work through, okay, to get to their own promised land, to get to their own what they want. I have to pay attention to the dogs. It's something the dogs run by every once in a while. I think it was last week. I had the dogs get out of the blue. They just came up and like jumped on the picnic table and started like jumping all over me. I think it was last Sunday coffee talk it happened. I left some of it in there just to show. Then I took some of it out because it uh, it, uh, it had so much dead space in there. But but anyway, friends, let's wrap this up. It's getting close to a half hour, but I just wanted to share that this Sunday. That was kind of on the top of my mind. Is do you remember who you are? And that's the key. Is you got to remember who you are. You got to remember how powerful you are, and you are power. You are powerful, and you have to remember that. Like if you have people you look up to, you have role models. You have to understand is you can have what they have. That's how easy it is. Okay, bottom line. It's not like you can't go down the rabbit hole thinking, oh, they're lucky. Okay. Some people just get what they want, but they're lucky. No, you can have what you want too. Okay, the same powers that's working for them, you have the same power. You just have to tap into it. The same power is working for me. You have the same power. You can do the same thing. Okay, if I sit there and say, you know, abundance is my birthright, or I have divine abundance with sources inside me, well, so do you. You have the same thing. We have the same power. Okay, we all want different things. We don't want the same thing in life, but we have the same power. Okay, everybody can call what they want, call the unseen into the seen. You're doing it right now. That's what you have to understand. You're doing it right now. You're manifesting right now. Okay, but the truth is, what the truth that people don't want to hear is that you're manifesting things that you don't want. That's literally what's going on. You're calling the unseen to the seen. You're using the powers, but you're using the powers against yourself. Okay, you're manifesting things is what you don't want to manifest, what you don't want in your life. You're calling the unseen to the seen, but things that you don't want, circumstances you don't want to go through. That's what you're doing. Okay, it's working. Remember, that's what I'm saying as we close this. Okay, this all comes down to the subconscious mind. I'm getting very detailed. I didn't really want to go down this rabbit hole, but oh well. Um, this is what it means that your subconscious mind is very, very impersonal. Your subconscious mind gives you what you give it. Okay, that's what it means. It doesn't try to figure out what's true or false. It doesn't try to figure out what's good or bad for you. Okay, it's just giving you what you give it. Okay, so that's what I mean by you have source power, but source power is giving you, it's very impersonal because it's ruled by your subconscious mind. It's ruled by your habits, your emotions, your patterns, and everything else. And it's working for you, but in the beginning, what you're noticing is you notice you have all this stuff in your life you don't want, but you've attracted it. The reason why you attracted it is because your subconscious mind is very, very impersonal. It just gives you what you give it. If you think about it and you think about it long enough, well, it's going to come into your life. Okay. Bottom line. Like if, for example, like if you're in a relationship right now, maybe you're married, you're in a long-term relationship, you live with them, but if you constantly think about, I don't want to be in this relationship no more. You constantly think about other people, either having an affair or breaking up, having a relationship with other people. Like when you're already in a relationship, and those become your dominant thoughts, meaning like this is what you always think about from time to time. Well, guess what? It's eventually going to happen. Eventually something's going to happen that's going to cause a massive breakup because that's what you're thinking about. Remember, your subconscious mind isn't impersonal. It's literally like, well, Chad thinks about this over and over and over and over. He must like it, so I'm gonna make it happen for him. And the same thing's happening to you. You understand? Okay? It's not trying to figure out what's best for you. It's not trying to figure out what's true or false, what's good or bad. It's not trying to figure out, well, I'm not going to break up with this relationship, but this relationship is really, really, really great. No, it's just the fact that you constantly thinking about dog shit over and over and over and over. And guess what? It brings you dog shit. You know what I mean? So I know I attached a whole bunch of stuff to this, and I didn't really want to. I wanted to keep it more simple, but oh well. Some of you maybe needed to hear this, and I just kind of went with the flow. But as we wrap this up, I'm really gonna wrap it up this time. Is who are you being? Who are you being right now? Okay. Do you remember who you are? The real you, do you remember? Do you remember the spiritual part of you? Because you have forgotten. You have forgotten the power that you have, the power that you possess. You've forgotten all this. Okay, but it's inside you. It's just all your powers, all they're doing is laying dormant inside you until you awaken them. They're not they're it's not like they're not there. They're laying dormant inside you. That's dormant. Okay, until you awaken them. And the way you awaken them, I know that's the next question if people stayed around this long, is you just believing you had them. It's belief. That's what it is. It's belief. It's literally believing that source is inside you. You have source power. You're endowed with source power, and you can do anything that source can do. Okay, because again, abundance is your birthright. Abundance is divine. It's divine abundance. Okay, abundance is in everything, everywhere. Everything you do, everywhere you go, there's abundance. Okay, that's how your mind has to. That's what your mind has to um, see. That's why I love the quote from Thomas Strober that I gave you earlier. Is your mind is a center of divine operation. Divine operation means expansion, expansion into more. Because your mind sees only abundance. That you have to train your mind that way. You have to train yourself that you only see the good. You only see the abundance in everything. And if you sit there and say, well, Chad, we all have bad things that happen to us, but you're looking at it as bad. You're not looking at it as good. And guess what? If it is really bad, guess what you need to do? You walk around it, you bring no emotion to it. Okay. You walk around it. You might have to deal with it for a brief second. You deal with it, bring no emotion to it, walk around it, and basically give it no two shits. Okay, that's how you deal with it. Okay, but you have to understand that abundance is in everything. It's how you're looking at things, it's how you're viewing things. Even for myself, it's how I'm looking at things, it's how I'm viewing things, my friends. But other than that, my friends, I'm gonna wrap this up, or I'm gonna get down another rabbit hole here. Once I get going, I love talking about this stuff. But also remember, if you made it this far, we have the Super Thanks Spotlight. That's where you leave a super thanks, attach a question to it, and that's what's discussed on every single Sunday. That's what we dive deeper into. Other than that, my friends, I will see you next week, next Sunday, on the next Sunday Coffee Talk. See ya.